The agreement mom and dad did, they built the body that you jumped into. Like, they built the car, and then you got into the driver's seat through the breath, okay? That's how creation works. So what happens now is, if you agree that you're that legal name, then you're the one keeping mom and dad's contract in full force and effect. Cool, huh? So what mom and dad did unknowingly was they convinced you that you were that legal name. They even started creating identification for you in birth certificates. And now for those that are paying attention, have a look at some of the UK birth certificates. It says right on it, not to be used for identification purposes. And it also gives a caution. There are offenses relating to falsifying certificates, i.e. creating identification with it, that come off the birth certificate. So here's your catch-22. Here's how you get screwed. One, they want you to claim the birth certificate, that it's you, that it has something to do with you. And when you think it has something to do with you, because it's a copy of the page in the registrar's book. Now remember, it's the book that's copyrighted, not the name. So anything that appears in the body of the work is copyrighted, whether it's a name or not. Now a title is something like Mr. or Mrs. or Captain or Queen or whatever. Those are titles. You cannot copyright titles. A name isn't a title. It's the body of a work. So the bottom line is this. If you agree to be that name, then you are empowering the contract that mom and dad had through the registration book. Now remember, Crown agent members from the courts, bar members, judges and lawyers, what they get when they get the bar card. And by the way, every lawyer and judge is a citizen of the City of London state, because Middle Temple Bar is in the City of London. And I don't care if you cross the bar in Arizona, Timbuktu, Alberta, Sichuan province. I don't care. It's the same bar. It's in the City of London, called the Middle Temple Bar. And what you get with the bar card is permission of right of use to the Crown copyright, which means they have access to the copyrights in the books, which means that their legal name, they have permission to use. Now, I don't know about you, but I never got a letter from the Middle Temple Bar saying it was okay for me to use a legal name that mom and dad stuck on this body that I had to remove, and it was like pulling off a Band-Aid that had been grown into your skin 2 inches. I got rid of it. You know why lawyers are foreign agents? No one ever proved this. So I went looking, and of course they're foreign agents. They're citizens of the City of London. It's a square mile inside the City of London, England. London is a country. And go ahead, look up the Mansion House of City of London. London. That's a country, just like the Vatican, just like Washington, D.C. These are 3 city-state countries, and everything is ruled out of the square mile in the City of London, period. They're parasites, that's all they are. Yeah, they gave India back their right to self-rule in 1948. When the armies left, did you notice what they left behind? The same thing they did everywhere. They left behind courts. That's the secret invasion, the courts. And cour T means heart of crucifixion. Cour T, court. Cour, heart, French. T, lowercase t is a cross. It's a crucify. And the uppercase T, this proves that in Phoenician letters, by the way. The uppercase T is the law of truth, which is love. Law ve. Yeah, it all plays out very easily. The law of verily, verily meaning truth.
The only way a legal jurisdiction can be gained is through fraud and deception. And that is an intent to commit fraud, which nullifies the contract before the contract's even asked for. Dunk pro fucking tunk. Say it again? Okay. The only way that jurisdiction can be gained in the legal dead world is through fraud intent to deceive. And any jurisdiction that is claimed through fraud and deception is already null and void with the intent to do so in the first place. The contract was null and void before the offer even came out of their faces. They're already with intent to harm. You cannot claim jurisdiction through fraudulent means, because a fraud revealed with the intent to commit fraud is already null and void. It carries no power. Thus, the entire legal world reality is powerless completely, because every jurisdiction that they've ever went after was done with such intent. All contracts, null and void. All legal jurisdiction rulings, null and void. All statutes, bullshit legislation created with the intent to deceive, aid and abet humanity into a false dead jurisdiction with the intent to do so nullifies the contract before it's even uttered. Now for then, you guys don't listen to us, so we kind of have to use these coincidental moments where you think we're a legal name and we're not. And this is the only window of opportunity that you're going to pay any attention while you're deluding yourselves into this legal name fraud. I'm here to tell you about the legal name fraud, and that's all. No assumption or presumption of any matter or anything that you have in your illusional court. That's your little fictional world. I live in the real fucking world, okay? You're committing fraud. You cannot get jurisdiction through deception, okay? Because the intent to do so, it makes it null and void to begin with. You are without jurisdiction at that moment. In that instant you attempt it, you are without it. Game fucking over. Exactly. It's got nothing to do with you, and there's no way you're going to breathe life by responding into that legal name. So where the system is stymied on this is the fact that the account was set up under fraud through that legal name. They don't know it's fraud. You didn't know it was fraud, but it is. It's fraud. So here's the thing. The instant you choose to not be that legal name, they can't do anything that henceforth, because they need the consent of you to be that legal name to first turn the power on to create the contract, and secondly, to turn the power off, they must get a contract response, which is making any payments whatsoever is contract response. That's saying you're the legal name, that you think that has something to do with you. Okay, just like going into a courtroom. I'm not the legal name. Then what the hell are you doing here? Well, I got a piece of mail. No, you didn't. The legal name did. So you must think you're the legal name. Off with your head. And it really is this crazy simple. And this is the hardest part to get across to people. Making it this clear, making it this crystal clear to people. No name, no game, right? Everything stops in that instant, in that blinding instant. All contracts that were put into effect, i.e. electricity, water, phone, all of these things that you put into effect through that legal name, nothing can be done without your consent to be that legal name to turn the power on or off. So once the power's on and you are not the legal name anymore, there's no way that they can turn it off until they get consent to be that legal name.